Hello everyone, and welcome to another Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the game video. Today we are going to talk about some of the issues that have plagued the game as of recently, and character bugs. So they recently dropped a patch last week, or earlier this week, I can't remember which, that fixed a couple of things. Some of the patch notes are right here, but anyways, they did not do a very good job when they dropped the patch, and basically the game's in a broken state right now. Family members still cannot be door slammed, such as Leatherface, and then Johnny still has a really powerful lunge as well, which never got nerfed, unfortunately, even though they said they're working on a rework. And then victims are still having the bone scrap meta, Russian bone scrap meta, as I'd like to call it now, actually. But Virginia's skill tree is apparently still broken as well. And then Danny is still powerful with the valve, but we'll get to those in a little bit. The first thing, lobbies, they're completely broken. We could try finding a lobby now, but as a victim, it takes roughly about 5 to 10 minutes to find an actual lobby due to the amount of players who are currently queuing for victim, just because it's technically the better role and more fun anyways. And then you have family where you can find a match pretty much instantly, but there must be an issue with the backfill or something, because when you do try to find a match as family, someone's going to end up leaving most likely, and then you can't backfill. You have an issue with the backfill where someone won't join and then the lobby breaks. So this game has a number of issues, and hopefully they can be addressed by Gun tomorrow or a live stream. But I don't think that most of these issues are going to be solved anytime soon. So let's start out with the bone scrap meta for victim. This issue started when, basically day one, the bone scraps are probably one of the, if not the best tool to use for victims in this game, because with them, if you don't know already, you can close encounter family members, all except Leatherface, and close encounters are usually favored towards the victim side, and it depends on how much strength you have put into a character. So for example, Julie and Connie have the weakest strength, so they aren't the best at grappling. Ruined, however, Anna and Sunny are the best at grappling. And then there's also toughness as well, which goes into that, because toughness is your health, basically, and how much damage you can take. And because when your health is lower, you don't take it, you have a higher chance of winning when your health is higher. So basically, victims have the upper hand when it comes to close encounters, usually, assuming that they're not at low health. So that's not very good for family, but yeah. And then there's also the sneak attacks as well. If you can actually avoid close encounters entirely if you're able to get around the family member and backstab them with your bone scraps. So there's also that. As I said, the bone scraps are very useful for close encounters, although they should have a slight buff, because you can currently use bone scraps on Nugget and you lose it for that. So I'm not entirely against bone scraps. They're very useful, and they shouldn't be removed from the game. I'm not one of those people who thinks that. They just need adjustments. One of the ways that the developers tried to counteract the bullying of Leatherface in the basement was to reduce bone scraps that you received from a pile to only 3. And that, for a while, that seemed to help, but since they removed the instant kill from grappling with family members when intervening, that made things really bad, because now you can just basically, it's just a free escape basically for victims. Like, you had to be kind of careful earlier about what you picked, or when you picked to do a close encounter, would you either run or fight, and now it's not very, you just kind of win regardless unless you're at very low health. So, close encounters, a little too used at the moment, which is the whole point of the bone scrap meta. And then you have the rush meta, which is still around. The rush meta is basically when you have all the victims rushing to get out as quick as possible, and this is very bad for family because if they're not careful, if family isn't careful, then the victims can easily get the upper hand because there's just fewer numbers of family members, so it's very hard to counter the rush meta if done correctly by victims. So, unfortunately, that's not the only way you really counter the rush meta is by using Cook, but even then, people are still going to rush. So, that unfortunately, it completely takes away from the stealthy aspect of the game, which was originally intended, and I'm surprised the devs didn't actually test this, but that's one of the major issues right now plaguing the game. So, and then some characters need buffs like Sunny and Sissy, respectively. Sunny doesn't have the best stats, and one of the things that should be changed about him is an increase in his toughness, at least probably to 25 from just 15. That's kind of ridiculous. I don't understand who'd want to play Sunny. Maybe his ability's kind of underrated, but unfortunately his toughness just really doesn't make it so that he should be picked. So, because he's underpowered. Sissy, her poison is situational, to be in all honesty, because it's good in some spots and others, especially if you're new to her like me. I haven't played too much Sissy, even though I have her at level 3, mostly. But, yeah. Basically, it's kind of necessary these days on family members to run Suffocating Grip, which makes the close encounter minigame easier, because of the whole bone scrap meta. Even then, it doesn't always work, though, unfortunately, so that's quite a shame. And then there's also the issue with the DLC. They're just very expensive and stuff right now. So they haven't added the in-game currency like they said they'd add, so that you can purchase the new characters and stuff. Honestly, I haven't purchased the new victim yet. It's just a nightmare to play the new victim also, because you probably won't end up getting her. So, yeah, it's just not worth getting the new victims at the moment, because of how bad lobbies are. I've just been playing family instead. So, again, I don't hate this game or anything. I really like this game, but honestly, the developers have not done the best job. I got this game 2 days after it released, and I plan on staying around for quite some time as long as the game's still around, but it's not in a good spot, and hopefully it can be fixed soon. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'm Starman2290, and have a great day. Peace.